I'm listening. Very hit. Wow. I know it. One, two, three, four.
Hello, and welcome to Liberty Action Network. This is Lunchpail and the Professor.
Hello, everybody.
Your political psychotherapy show. Viewer beware, this show is completely unscripted, and we have a lot to cover today. Let's just put it that way.
Let's get to
I'm
it.
trying to think of everything we have to cover, and my mind kind of scrambles a little bit.
Let's get to it.
But we can get right to it. So I'm going to just go down a couple of things. We're not going to get to all these, but some of them are just quick hits, and we'll get through it. Number one, of course, the dithering in Ukraine goes on, except now we have something happening over in Wales where NATO is agreeing to something. We don't exactly know what that is or what action it'll take. I don't know. I don't know if you have confidence that there'll be any strong action taken.
I don't
right?
think so. It didn't happen before. It would happen now. It's
Right.
just- You're right. It's just diddling around.
And then we have we have this amazing kind of, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to the Russian influence and all this. The other thing is, let's go to, it came out today or a day or so ago, black unemployment, right? Black Americans, unemployment 11.4%. And you have to wonder, why keep voting for Democrats?
And they're all voted for Obama, right?
Well, yeah, I don't know how many, but it sure looks like that. When you look at the 90% or so that voted for Obama, you wonder, why are you going to do that? Why keep doing that? Because they'll help you survive? They keep promising that. We'll help you survive. And I would think people would rather hear, we're going to help you thrive, not just survive.
Right.
You know, that's it's like a Jesse Jackson.
Yeah.
Don't survive, thrive.
That's right.
So, but, you know, we'll see what happens. Of course, that has to do with Republicans coming up with very clear, articulate statements and programs that they can tell the people in simple ways how we're going to help you.
Yep.
How we're going to get you jobs. How we're going to help your living wage go up. You know, besides giving another handout of a guaranteed wage, minimum wage. Okay. What else is going on? Oh, unfortunately for New Jersey, we've just had our bond rating downgraded again from A+ to A.
Yeah.
That's the Fitch Ratings board. Unfortunate for people in New Jersey, because when the bond rating goes down, anything the state has to do and borrow money, it goes up, and of course we pay for it.
Yes.
Another interesting thing, you remember a while back how the Obamacare advocates and the officials in the Obamacare administration told us this healthcare.gov is safe.
Safe and sound.
Safe and sound.
Yeah.
And not going to be hacked.
Yep.
Sorry.
Again?
Oops, we made a mistake.
All right.
There you go. They now found out just recently that actually in July, the website was hacked.
Again.
It got hacked again, and this is after, you know, all these officials from Obamacare came out and said, no, we fixed that. It's not a problem. We're going to take it. No, it got hacked. But we are reassured that no data was stolen.
So, yeah.
Now, I don't
How
know.
do they know?
Believe that? Yeah, right.
How do they know?
Do you believe it? I don't know. It's hard to believe. There's, you know, and yes, okay. After telling us for months and months how the economy is improving, you know, at the slowest rate ever, you know, so anytime you can get, you know, a tenth of a point or something up, they'll scream out loud. We get a jobs report, the worst job report in the last 6 months. I think it was like 145,000 jobs, something like that. Was it?
Yeah.
You know, and what we've heard over and over again is that you need at least 250,000 jobs created every month just to keep pace.
Catch up, yeah.
So that's what we got. And then, just to let you folks know, remember the IRS, remember the lost emails, remember Lois Lerner,
yeah,
and the attack on conservative groups, targeting them, giving them a hard time and getting their 501c4s. Remember all that?
Yeah.
And it faded out for a while.
Yeah.
Right, so off the page, you got all this other crap going on. Uh-oh. Sorry.
No!
Right. We lost another 5 emails of people who are central to the case.
Yeah.
So, and so who are some of the people now? Remember those rogue agents in Cincinnati? It started out, well, this is just rogue agents in Cincinnati. Nobody had anything to do with this.
Yeah.
Just these rogue agents.
Low level.
Hey, the lower level guys, their emails suddenly disappeared.
Yeah.
Well,
what a surprise, huh?
Yeah, big surprise. You know, this is corruption at the highest levels. At least that's my simple opinion. Yeah. Well, look, as you know, and you've been following the ISIS story,
yeah,
brutes and killers.
Islamic State of, it was Islamic State
of in Syria, I think it is, right?
Syria and Iraq. Yeah.
Right, Syria and Iraq. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to get our madam producer here to get up a couple of clips, because I think when we talk about ISIS and we talk about how the president's responded, you would think there would be a clear message. But it seems like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing in this.
Yep.
So I'd like our producer to look at clip 140, and I'll just tell people what's going to come up on that. First, you'll hear a little bit of the president, kind of muffled. He's not clearly heard on this, but you can hear a little bit of it. And I attribute that to the fact that he's not using a teleprompter. He's actually had to speak off the cuff. Whenever that happens, he's not quite as sharp, not quite as fluid.
Definitely.
Right?
Yep.
So that's it. And then you'll hear his press secretary, Josh Ernst, talking about another message on why the president hasn't really acted yet. And then you'll hear the Pentagon spokesman. Listen carefully to Josh Ernst, and Obama, who basically throw the Pentagon under the bus.
Okay.
Right?
No.
So, Madam Producer, if you get clip 140 and get that close enough to the mic so we can...
ISIS a sophisticated terrorist threat as we have ever seen. As if ISIS can be defeated without addressing Syria, you would choose a snapshot attempts. He said no. The comments implied that U.S. military eager to get the job of destroying ISIS done. But President Obama yesterday and Press Secretary Josh Ernst today seem to suggest that attack plans were not ready.
You go.
The White House messaging stood in sharp contrast to what the Pentagon was saying today. I think that anybody who has any knowledge of the United States military knows that we're ready. We're ready all the time. That doesn't necessarily mean that the planning process is complete or that decisions to do anything have been made. But that we are ready to be put out by nobody. Nobody, our friends, our enemies, potential adversaries.
Okay, that's it. We can cut that. So just hit pause on there and you'll get that up. Here we go. You have the president saying, "Oh, we on action we can't take action on ISIS yet. We want to get the cart before the horse, you know." And then the press secretary comes out and says, "You know what? We're ready to go. You're just waiting on the Pentagon." Pentagon comes out and says, and I think this is a key phrase, "Anybody who knows anything about the military," right? So right away that leaves out the whole administration. Anybody who knows anything about the military.
Zero, yeah.
So anybody who
No.
Nothing.
For the last time, no.
All right.
So anybody who knows anything about the military would know, as he's saying, is we're ready to go. So the Pentagon's saying we're ready to go. What he's saying, he has to walk it back a little bit, is we're waiting on the president to make a decision. Josh Earnest is saying, Pentagon, they have to get the plan ready. So if you want to send a message to your enemies that there's mass confusion and mass dithering, this is the way to do it. This is a perfect formula. Have everybody on a different page. Okay.
I got something on that subject.
Yeah.
Tom Delay says, Obama paralyzed by Muslim sympathies. New York. President Obama's left-leaning political ideology combined with sympathies for Islam acquired from being raised by a Muslim stepfather paralyzed him as the faces that threat posed by the Islamic jihadist group ISIS. Former House Majority Leader Tom DeLay told WND in the interview, "In defending America against radical Islam terrorism, Barack Obama cannot be trusted," DeLay said. Barack Obama was raised a Muslim, and he claims he's a Christian. I can't say for sure whether he's a Christian or not, but he has shown over the last few years that he has a great sympathy for Islam.
Wow. So there you go. According to Tom DeLay, former House Republican, was a really powerful guy, and he got taken down by the left.
Yeah.
Was accused of, a multitude of things where he was found innocent. But I'd like to go to, just to emphasize more, the difference in messaging. Madam Producer, can you go to 26, the Gates of Hell clip from Joe Biden?
26.
Number 26.
Good old
It will be starred
Good Uncle
Okay,
Joe.
I'm getting lessons here.
right up at the
Okay.
top. Go all the way to
I
the
got
top. You got it? Okay.
We don't retreat. We don't forget. We take care of those who are grieving. And when that's finished, they should know we will follow them to the gates of hell
Sure.
until they have brought to justice. Because hell is where they will reside.
Yeah.
Hell is where they will reside.
Yeah. So here you have Joe Biden, the vice president. For those of you who haven't been paying attention, he is the vice president. And he
He comes on every couple of months, say something.
he can come and say something. Now here's a guy who comes out and he's got another message. We're going after them. We're gonna get them. We'll pursue them. We'll decimate them.
You know what he's doing? He's copying the speech that George W. Bush did in Ground Zero. Remember? When I said, "You can't hear you? You can't hear me? They're going to hear us. They're going to hear from us very soon."
It's
He's trying to duplicate that.
It's interesting you say that because I don't know how many people remember years and years ago when he was thinking about running for president.
Yeah.
He was accused of plagiarizing from a speech. So it's funny you say that. He copied his speech.
Yeah.
Old habits never die.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
So now, with all this going on, right? People being killed down there. The key here is this administration and the president pulled out all our troops against the advice of the generals.
Definitely.
In Iraq, he pulled them all out, creating a vacuum, and what we have today is mass slaughter.
Exactly.
Now, here, and this is going to kill Bush haters.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
going to kill Bush haters. But, Madam Producer, would you go to clip 38. This was something, you can go with that, and we'll see. It'll take a minute to cue that up even when you hit it.
38.
38, number 38.
Washington would like us to start leaving Iraq now. And withdrawn before our commanders tell us we're ready. Be dangerous for Iraq, for the region, and for the United States. The future of Iraq and that we'd be risking mass killings on a horrific scale. It would mean we allow the terrorists to establish a safe haven in Iraq to replace Afghanistan. Increasing probability that American troops would have to return at some later date to confront an enemy that is even more dangerous.
So that's it. You can get that off. So here you go. This is
Exactly what he said.
Exactly what he
What
said.
a war.
2007,
Right.
the surge had just begun.
Right.
You had Harry Reid coming out and said, this will never work. We've lost the war. It's done. Right? Other people coming out, Hillary Clinton saying, no. And George Bush got up and said, look, we can't pull out. We pull out, we'll create a vacuum. And you heard what he said. He was right.
Where's the yes button? Hit the yes button. We're going to get one.
Here's the Harry Reid button.
No.
It won't work. Hillary Clinton button.
No.
Oh, no, Hillary. Got a low voice. Must be taking hormones. So look, this is what we have now, projecting weakness all over the Middle East, all over the world. All over the world. You have the president gets 3 tries at this, right?
Yes.
First comes out and says, remember he said this? We don't have a strategy for defeating ISIS. Then he comes out and says, well, you know, we have a strategy, but it's like containing them, making them a manageable problem. Then people came out in Britain, Great Britain,
Right.
somebody had politicians who came out and said, and the prime minister from Kurdistan,
Right.
excuse me, came out and said, you can't manage this. You have to destroy them. They're not manageable. We will not tolerate having a group of murderers in our country. So, and then he gets the 3rd shot the other day in Wales, where he's now talking about dismantling, defeating, destroying, and I don't know. Do you think his heart's really in that?
No, every time he's abroad, he tries to show off, you know.
Yeah.
He comes up with these words and stuff, you know,
You're right.
just to fit in over there with the other guys. But it's the same old story.
So we have this evolving narrative which creates skepticism. No strategy, okay, kind of a strategy, let's contain it to defeat and destroy, dismantle. You know, even the dismantle part, what does that mean, dismantle? Okay, so anyway, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but you all remember that every time that this administration started to take on one of the autocratic despots, every time when they were defeated, a worse group came in. Remember, got rid of Mubarak, right? This is going to be the Arab Spring.
Yes.
Remember the Arab Spring?
Yeah.
What happened? Muslim Brotherhood, ISIS, they're all part of the same. You know, Hamas, all part of the same.
Then it became
Come
out of winter.
Arab
After spring, it came out of winter.
Then you also had, you know, let's face it, people were very happy about getting rid of Saddam Hussein. But of course, as we were just talking about, those troops got pulled out, and you had Hamas coming in. And so those are 2 examples. There might be more.
10 minutes.
So we got 10 minutes left, Madam Producer. Oh, my Lord. My Lord, my Lord, my Lord. How fast things go. Okay. We do have something very interesting here, too. As we talk about ISIS, and we talk about the threats of ISIS on our borders now, the fear that people are coming across our borders, Lunchpail, and to attack us, and they might be coming back with those who are fighting ISIS, coming back with their passports.
Yeah,
And we find out they can't lose their passports.
unbelievable.
Right? So it's not an automatic thing, you know, it's this process. One of the things, it's got to have a process for it. I don't think so. I disagree. But here's an interesting clip. Madam Producer, can you look up clip 1335?
Clip 1335.
Clip 1330. I like when she repeats it. No, 1335.
Okay, here we go.
All right. This has to do with who's coming across the border. I think this is the one where we got a little space in the beginning. It might take a moment for it to catch up, but let's play it. Who are the people that are coming in on visas, student visas?
After
Listen to
that,
this.
I have something
Here you
to read.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get it. Yeah, you'll see who they're coming.
It's a well-intentioned program that allows more than 1 million foreign students a year to study in the U.S. But ABC News investigation found Homeland Security also certifies 86 beauty schools, 36 massage schools, and 9 schools that teach horseshoeing, all valid for a U.S. visa.
Okay, cut that.
Unbelievable.
Right, so there are no beauty schools anywhere in the world except in the United States. So students have to come here. Because we have the best, greatest beauty schools. So they got to come here for that.
Liberal beauty schools.
Right? Beauty schools and massages. Right? What are they going to set up in a massage parlor?
Yeah.
Is that it now?
Probably
So-
prostitution ring.
They're coming here. 1 million students coming here. And then we have, what do they say? So the 36 massage schools ready to take students that are coming in. There's 86, what's the other thing I said?
Horseshoes?
Not horseshoes, no. It was massage school, beauty schools. 86 beauty schools that are certified, okay? And then you have
What's
9
the horseshoe?
horseshoeing. You know, when I first heard horseshoeing, it was like playing horseshoes. I'm like, what? No, shoeing horses, putting shoes on horses, you know?
Isn't America the Wild West? The West, and we are the original originators of
We
that?
gotta have students.
Yeah, they learn it from us. Now we teach.
Well, here's, in my opinion, my humble opinion, people come here on visas to stay here.
Yeah,
They come here to stay here.
they find all kind of excuses.
And
Oh,
now we
yeah.
find, after all these people have come in, we just get an announcement that 6,000 of the visa people who came on visas, students who came on visas, are lost.
Lost.
They haven't tracked them. Now,
In thin air, all gone. Yeah.
yep. Now, Homeland Security says, well, wait a minute, we haven't really lost them. We haven't really lost
And
them.
we don't know where they are.
But we don't know where they are, right? We do know this. They overstayed their visa and they're not going home.
Yeah, that's it.
So we know that. Now, the question, I guess, is, do you think that 1 million students coming here to study in all these different schools, do you think that's too much?
I think so.
1 million?
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then we hear that, remember when the Twin Towers
Right.
were attacked
First
with
time?
planes?
Oh, the second one, yeah.
People who took flying lessons
Yeah.
at a flight school where was it? Texas? Where is it? California?
Yeah.
Florida too.
Florida.
Florida too.
They were all students here.
They were
All those
students.
19
They
were
took
students,
that.
yeah.
Well, here's the story. They're still accepting students to flight schools from flight schools that are not certified by Homeland Security.
Wow, unbelievable. Man. Mm.
So we got some problems. Now we're seeing that Minneapolis, Minnesota seems to be a pipeline
Yeah, I have it
for
right here.
Americans. Yeah.
Let me read.
What do you got?
Refugee in U.S. state drawn to welfare jihad. Members of the Abu Hirara Islamic Center listed as U.S. Attorney Andrew Lugar announced the filing of a lawsuit against St. Anthony, Minnesota, over the city's rejection of Islamic Center. Over the course of 2 decades, the federal government refugee resettlement program has forcibly infused the Minneapolis-St. Paul area of Minnesota with a large dose of Somali culture, and transition has not yet always been smooth. Representative Michelle Bachmann, Minnesota, told WND that while many of the Somali transplants have been hardworking citizens, the experiment has been costly for the state, and too many Somalis remain dependent on public assistance.
Wow, can you imagine that? Surprise, surprise,
Yeah.
right? So now we find that the Somali community, and you know, you always have to make a notation here. Not every Somali
Yeah.
is an ISIS recruit. We find out though that
The-
people are coming.
And they're going, the one that was killed was from Somali, from Minnesota.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
two that were killed are fighting for ISIS.
Yep, fighting for ISIS.
And
They were killed.
Last
Could
night,
happen to a nicer bunch of two guys.
last night they were talking about one girl from a mosque. She went,
Yeah.
19-year-old.
She's missing. They don't know where she is.
Yeah.
They think she went there.
Yeah.
So
What do you got?
we got about 3 minutes left. Let's just talk about Russia flexing their muscles in the face of a fairly weak, indecisive dithera-in-chief. Okay. First of all, a couple of things. One, I wonder if we forgot that Russia actually invaded Ukraine and just took over the part of the country called Crimea.
Come here, yeah.
You know, I guess that's an old story.
Yes.
The news media haven't said anything about that. It's like done.
Done.
Oh, they took it, it's done.
Let's see what's next.
Now they invaded eastern Ukraine,
Yes.
been pounding that. They have their Russian rebels in there, people who, Russian soldiers aligning with the Russian rebels who are Ukrainians, but they're Russian aligned. And they just invaded, and now they decided to have a ceasefire. Folks, this is the way to negotiate. You invade another country. You then, after invading the country, you put your soldiers in there with the rebels who are Estonian, not Estonian, but they're Ukrainian rebels.
You mix them up.
You mix them up, you attack, and then you agree to a ceasefire while you have part of their country under your boot,
Right.
and then you tell the Ukrainians, you have to move out of this area, out of your own country.
Exactly.
Withdraw your troops from that part of your own country because we want it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now there's a ceasefire. Where that's going to go, I have no idea.
But
Now, showing once again, Putin does not miss a trick. What does he do? Estonia. Now, Estonia is part of the NATO alliance.
that's
The
right.
NATO alliance is bound to come to their
Rescue.
aid.
Yeah.
So what does Putin do? There's an incident now where an intelligence officer from Estonia vanishes.
Oh my goodness.
Russia now says we have him because he was up to no good, right? Estonia says, what are you talking about? He's an intelligence officer. He was kidnapped
Okay.
and dragged across the line, across the border, because it's right on the border.
Right.
And apparently, Russia has a history of doing this. They have a history of kidnapping people, taking them across the border, and then holding them for ransom or whatever. One other thing. 1 minute. Russia just sent its naval force into the Antarctic to again set up a base in the Siberia Islands that they abandoned in 1993. Mineral-rich, oil-rich area. So now they're in the Antarctic, going back in there. And they now have also said to the U.S. and its alliances, right, Western Europe, they warn them, if you put any more sanctions on us, we are going to react. So that's what you got. So what are we doing? We're going time out. Thank you. Thank you for looking in. God bless. This is Liberty Action Network. Lunchpail and the Professor.
God bless
We
America.
shall be back.
God bless America. Out.
I think that was a Terminator.